Hey, how's it going? ChiefsRaysBolts back again with Casey and Kanav. It's the second week. It's the divisional week. What's up, boys?
Doing well, man.
Uh,
I'm happy to be back. It's
Yeah, this is
the week
exciting.
is very long. I'm happy to get back on this. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so real quick,
no.
somebody give an introduction while I go promote this on my socials.
Kanav, how are you feeling about having a first round bye? Like, you know who you're playing now. You're playing San Francisco. How you feeling, man?
I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, it's a good thing, but Packers aren't really good at coming off a first round bye either. Their history is eh. And I know last year, came off the first round bye, beat the Rams, but I don't know. Historically, they're not really good coming off the first round bye, so it's gonna be interesting, especially against a team that we're 0-3 against in the playoffs. Not gonna be fun.
At least you made it to the divisional round. I mean, it's like I've not once in my life seen a playoff victory. I was 9 yards away from potentially seeing a playoff victory last week, but couldn't get it done. We're gonna figure some things out next season. We'll probably
As
talk
far
about
as
that.
you guys did,
Yeah,
so that's a dub. That is a very big dub.
yeah, and I'm hyped for. I mean, even though my team's not in it, I think divisional round's gonna be pretty good because there were like some blowouts last week, as pretty evident, and so now we're gonna probably see some more close games. So
Talk about it though.
yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go ahead and get started here. Um,
yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and just recap what happened this last week. I think it would be best if we just went ahead and got it out of the way. Casey, you joined the party this year, and now you've made a quick exit from the party. So, talk about it.
Here's the thing. Although I chose the Raiders to win in last week's prediction, I kind of felt obligated to choose them. I did think the Raiders kind of secretly would lose, but I wanted to pick them out of wishful thinking. But the thing is, this game was a lot closer than I thought. I mean, the Raiders were 9 yards away from tying this game up. Potentially, what would have happened if they got the touchdown? They could have gone for two. But I think I'm proud of the team. We made it all the way to the divisional round. Or no, never mind. And,
Almost.
yeah, almost divisional, but I wasn't really impressed by the Bengals. I feel like there was a lot of hype surrounding them, and Raiders, almost took care of business. Had other things gone their way, but I'm happy the Raiders made it. I'm happy I could be part of the party. Albeit I did leave pretty early, so to speak. But it was fun. Yeah, it was fun being there. But it is what it is. We'll be back next year. I can assure you. I think the Raiders are only getting better from this point. Because we weren't even supposed to be here, and now next year will be a clean slate. And so, yeah.
Was that Derek Carr's first playoff game?
Yeah, it officially was because he
Wow.
was injured. The only playoff appearance the Raiders had.
Damn.
2016.
Knavis, Casey's
Yeah, we'll be
feed
back
spotty
next
for you
year.
as well. Casey's coming in and out. I don't know if it's just my end, but
Casey's taking it well, man. Casey's taking it well.
I like it.
Kanav, is Casey lagging for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just my end.
Is it-
It's just a spotty feed. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I'll turn this over to you guys. How do you guys feel about? Well, obviously, Kanav, you didn't have a team in, but Brett, how do you feel about the sound win over the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Brett got a little bit sweaty there, bro.
Yeah, first quarter
When
wasn't too good. First quarter there was a bit stressful. It was bad. Like the team just looked like shit in the first quarter, but they really turned it on when they needed to. And it was a fun game in the end. The last three quarters were fun, and believe me, I have a lot to talk about when we get to that. But
Do you think the Chiefs turned it on, or do you think the Steelers turned it off? Because I thought their defense kind of went
no, I think
sideways
the
after
Chiefs turned
TJ Watt got the touchdown. I think the Steelers defense kind of went.
on. I think the Chiefs just turned it on, honestly, and I have some stuff.
I know, man.
I got some stuff to prove it, man. That's all I'm saying. All right, so, okay, so I have to bring up the inadvertent whistle, right? Because I'm a ref. I do this stuff. And in flag football this last season, I thought I saw a flag get pulled, and I blew my whistle, and it wasn't pulled. The kid ended up running all the way for a touchdown. But because of my whistle, I had to bring it back. This is U6 flag football at my local fields, and I called it back from my inadvertent whistle. These are National Football League referees, and they just went ahead and pretended like nothing happened.
Yeah, well, let me just say this real quick. I mean, who knows? Like, I just think if you, based on the circumstances, based on the way the game ended, this was huge. And I know people kind of think this whistle wasn't important, but if you think about it, it was third down. And after blowing that whistle, you can see the Raiders defenders hesitated. And, I mean, that touchdown, it was an impressive touchdown, but it shouldn't have been a touchdown based on that whistle. And, the Raiders defenders were kind of stopped in their tracks because, they heard the whistle. I mean, anyone would have done that, like you said. It's just, it hurts. I mean, honestly, am I too surprised? Not really. We've been screwed over in the playoffs before. Tuck rule, just to name a few of a couple incidents that have happened. But, I mean, it's convenient to give the Bengals the touchdown in that situation because it was a nice touchdown. But the fact of the matter is it shouldn't have been called a touchdown. Should have been called back. And, I mean, who knows what would have happened. It's third down at that point. We're approaching, I believe it was the second quarter. But, it's still important because that touchdown put them up by extend their lead. So I think definitely it was inexcusable by the reffing committee. And also for people that say, it wasn't a big deal. If it wasn't a big deal, then those refs would be allowed to officiate the rest of the playoffs, and that committee is not allowed to. The NFL basically said that they're not going to be doing any other playoff games this year. So, yeah, I think that was probably the biggest controversy of the wild card, and I think rightfully so, kind of screwed us over.
And it is nice seeing officials and official crews being held accountable because it seems like the National Football League never punishes the referees when they screw up. Never. I mean, listen, it's one of the most difficult jobs in pro sports. It really is. So obviously they're going to make mistakes, but there are just some to name that are so bad and have no place in the sport, and it's just beyond me that a National Football League ref could screw up that badly. Like let's take for example the pass interference, Rams Saints, right? Were the refs?
Roby Coleman, bro.
Was that ref crew held accountable for that?
No, not at all. I mean, they were.
I don't.
mean, people. No, yeah, they were criticized, but there was no action taken against them.
That's what I figured, and that's what I mean. Is the NFL when stuff like this happens, and it's probably a good thing that you don't see it happen very often. Sucks that it happened to your team. You're watching it and you're supporting the team, and you're the team that gets screwed over. I felt it 4 weeks ago against Cincinnati. And it's like one of those once every 2 years thing. 3-4 years maybe, but this is the first time I've really seen National Football League officials get held accountable for something like that, which is nice, I guess, to see from the NFL. But anyways, regardless, the final score is the final score, and the Bengals are on. I don't think they looked impressive. I will say of all the games, I watched this one the least, just because I wasn't home for it. But look at the final score, right? The Raiders were in it till the very end. And a lot of people thought that the Raiders didn't even really stand a chance coming into this game. So the fact that they kept it close to the very end, I think it just goes to show that the Bengals are either weakened or the Raiders just played better than they have been. I don't know. It's always hard to tell with these things. Playoffs, it's a whole new season every single year. You never know what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and talk about one of these games just to get out of the way because there's not much of significance to it. The Bucks and Eagles. The Bucks they wiped the slate clean against Philadelphia. And believe it or not, this was Tampa's first home playoff game since 2007. The Super Bowl is considered a neutral site. So although they played in their home stadium, it was considered neutral. So this was actually their first home playoff game since 2007. So this is like big stuff for Bucks fans, and
Yeah.
I mean, me and Kanav know plenty, so it's good for them. Good for them. It's against the Eagles though, so I don't think many people really gave the Eagles much of a chance coming into this game, and for obvious reasons, the Bucks are just so much better.
Kinda did, but like, gave the Eagles a chance if they ran, but Jalen Hurts missed a lot of wide open throws.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the matchup coming into it seemed exciting, but like literally all of the Eagles' points came in garbage time.
Yep.
The game had it was boring. I didn't even watch it really. I kind of just checked on and off, but like I thought it'd be cool if the Eagles pulled an upset. I just think they're inexperienced compared to the Buccaneers. I mean, it's practically. I mean, he's not a rookie, Jalen Hurts, but he's like very new to the league, and you're playing, one of the most experienced quarterbacks of all time. So it's like, that is just the way it is. It's self-explanatory at that point. So.
And you know who really just did not do the Eagles any favors in this game was Jalen Reagor on special teams. I don't know if y'all know about that, but he did not do any favors. Muffed a punt when the Eagles were trailing 17-0 after a defensive stop in the third quarter that led to a Buccaneers touchdown. So like, there you go, 7 points on Reagor right there. And then he allowed 2 punts to go past him that set up the Eagles 10 yards back from where they would have started if he didn't let the ball go. So I think it's safe to say that it was probably his last game with the Eagles. That's just two years in a row.
I put a lot of blame on Jalen Hurts that game. Jalen Hurts played utter
well,
shit.
I'm not saying Reagor is the reason the Eagles lost. The Eagles are the reason the Eagles lost. But 100%. Reagor didn't help out their case, is what I'm saying.
I don't blame the Bucs defense, because then at that point when they're down like 17 or 24-0, they have nothing to play for at that point. So they just go onto the field, get their sequence in, let Brady score and come off. But if you're the Eagles defense and you're stopping them like 4, 5, 6 times, and your offense puts up like 28 points or like 25 points or something like that, then at least the Eagles are like, all right, we're still in this. Let's toughen up like this last 15 minutes of the fourth quarter. Yeah. When you're down 24-0 and your offense is going out, wasting time, and your defense is coming right back in 5 minutes later, and the defense is going to get tired. Your defense is going to let up points.
Themselves any favors. Believe it or not, though, the Eagles actually came into this game as the league's top-ranked rushing attack.
Rushing.
Yeah.
Yep. 170 rush yards per game.
And they were held to 17 carries for 95 yards this game. So does this say something about the Bucs defense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not super impressive, from the Eagles. I don't know. You made some good points there. I just feel like, maybe in a couple years, but right now, not experienced enough. So, yeah, that's kind of the way it was.
Yeah, man. So I Bucs defense is going to be a tough train to attack.
Yeah.
Coming into the next game. 49ers Cowboys. Let's talk about this crazy game for a second. And I'm going to start off with everybody else's opinions. I don't really know where Kanav is. Literally back now. Do you guys blame the refs or do you blame Dak for the way that game ended?
Blame Dak. Actually, I blame Dak. Not about the game ending. I blame more Dak, about how the game played. Because first of all, I kind of agree with the play call of Kellen Moore deciding to run for it on a QE draw. Yeah. I don't blame Dak because he can't really override that call no matter how much he wants to, just because either you're going to get chewed out by Kellen Moore, you're going to get chewed out by Mike McCarthy, or you just can't based on how the defense was playing. They played, three split corners at the sidelines. So either your ball's going to get picked or your ball's going to go incomplete. So they're not going to give you any yards. So your best option is go right down the middle. So
yeah,
I agreed with the play call. But the way Dak played the entire game, horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I agreed with the play call. I just feel like they didn't really have their eyes on the clock maybe enough. And I think the real controversy was the ball and the ref. I mean, the thing is, I think you got to give the ball to the ref. But I think the problem is, and it's funny, we were talking about refs just a moment ago, refs aren't perfect. They're never going to get to the line, in with the blink of an eye. They're going to take time. And I think the issue was the ref was in the way. You really have no time at all because the ref has to put the ball down and run out of the way. And, the clock was at 2 seconds when the ref finally got the ball. He puts it down. Like by the time he runs away, it's like we're out of time. So I don't know. I think the ref could have been faster. He kind of stumbled over. It was hard to tell. He kind of stumbled over the center, it looked like. But I kind of do think that even if the Cowboys were able to snap a play or spike the ball for that matter, I just feel like the odds were they weren't going to get the touchdown. I mean, they still needed like 20 yards. I think like it's being blown out of proportion. I wanted the Cowboys to win, but like I just didn't think it was going to happen. They still needed 20 something yards and basically 1 second, one play. So yeah.
Well, all I'm going to say is the refs aren't D1 recruit Usain Bolt's Tyreek Hill speed athletes. You know what I mean? And the thing, this is where the Cowboys screwed up is they didn't hand the ball to the ref. They just set it down and tried to snap it. But they need to know the rules here. The ref, the players can spot the ball, but the ref has to touch it. That's the rule. The ref has to touch it. And they didn't make that easy for us. So they can blame the refs all they want. The fans can throw shit at the refs all they want, but the Cowboys didn't make it easy for the refs to get there and start the play clock. So, no, that is all on the Cowboys O-line and on Dak Prescott for first of all, that abysmal play call. I know you guys agree with it somehow, but really, you have time expiring, no timeouts, and you're going to run a QB, not a QB, but like Dak's just going to take it himself. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. And it cost them their season.
Brett, you gotta look at it like this. Like, you got 15 seconds on the clock. But look, I'll draw it out for you real quick. The Niners are literally lined up like this. If this is your sideline, hold up. If these are your sidelines, defender, 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 Dak's right here. This is how the Niners are lined up right now in defense. And they're lined up with 3 corners. They're like 6 corner safeties lined up all on the sidelines. You got 15 seconds left and you got 40 yards to go. Where's your middle of the field? Or where's your open field? Right in the middle. The problem is with that play call, it works well, but Dak didn't slide early enough. That's the problem. He slid with like 5 seconds left.
On the game clock. That's when it works well.
No, I mean, they said they practiced it in practice. They practiced that play, the QB draw with less than 13 seconds left. They just didn't account for Dak taking an extra 5 yards of slide, and the ref not being able to touch the ball because of the center.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, they were not going to win the game. It's being blown out of proportion. Like even if he slides earlier, they still need. Let's say he slides, 5-10 yards earlier. They still need 30 plus yards in the end zone. I mean,
one play.
You can make a case about it. It's like I don't know. I just feel like the Niners outplayed them. I think the Niners deserve it's hard saying this as someone who's kind of anti-Niners. I think the Niners deserved it more than the Cowboys. They played better than the Cowboys in that game. The Cowboys had an attack at the end of the game. They had momentum. They were, the Niners defense was selling at the end of the game. They were, not stopping them from going out of bounds and whatnot. But I don't know. I just think it was a sloppy play. I think the execution was poor. I think the play call was okay. I don't know. I think if you have, to your point, Brett, I think if you have more than 15 seconds, it's probably a good idea. But otherwise, I mean, you wasted all the time. So it's like, yeah.
Now, one thing that didn't help out the Cowboys in this game was their penalties. 14 penalties, which tied the NFL record for most penalties in a single playoff game.
Wow.
So, is it really the ref's fault for not touching the ball with 3 seconds
in
the game and no timeouts? Exactly. You can't draw 14, not draw, but you can't commit 14 penalties and expect to win a football game in the playoffs. I mean, it's one thing if you're playing the Jets in week 3, but this is against a good 49ers team, and they proved themselves as a good team in this game.
For sure.
This was only the 5th time in NFL playoff history that a team committed 14 penalties in a game. But this believe it or not, out of these 5 times, this was the only occurrence where the team who committed 14 penalties lost. Every other team won.
Wow.
Believe that or not. The Cowboys finished with 127 penalties this season, the most in the NFL. So this wasn't a one-off game for the Cowboys committing penalties. They're known to do this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they do stupid stuff at the end of the games. They always sell. Like when we played them on Thanksgiving, they were doing the same thing. They were just letting us win the game. And that's what the Niners did. They kind of, I mean, I don't want to say they handed the Niners the game, but the Niners took advantage of their mishaps and mistakes. So, for sure. Yeah.
1,103 penalty yards. Second most in the league this year. That's how much they racked up throughout the duration of the season. So,
yeah.
So that's it. Cowboys out, and America is at peace because America's team is no longer in the playoff race.
That's true.
We'll go ahead and talk about the Chiefs Steelers just to get out of the way because I know for y'all it's not a very non-significant game just because of the score. There wasn't really anything to it because it was just the Chiefs running the show. But for me, I have some stuff to talk about, boys. I got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
Everybody at the beginning of the season.
I mean, come on, bro.
Everybody at the beginning of the season, man. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's figured out. Patrick Mahomes this, Patrick Mahomes that. Oh boy.
Amen.
So in NFL playoff history, the shortest span between 5 touchdown passes was Tom Brady in 2011 versus the Broncos at 24 minutes and 56 seconds. Keep that in mind. The shortest span between 5 touchdown passes in NFL history was Tom Brady, 25 minutes. Patrick Mahomes not only beat that record, but
he did
obliterated it. He threw 5 touchdown passes in the span of 11 minutes and 31 seconds of game clock. 11 minutes and 31 seconds.
When you have Big Ben who can't get a first down, what do you expect, bro?
I didn't even know that.
If you got Big Ben who can't get a first down for his life, what do you think is going to happen?
This it doesn't matter. This is NFL playoff history. This isn't just like, oh, well, the opponent just sucked. Yeah, they sucked, obviously. But this is history we're talking about here.
Give you another history line.
Okay.
Josh Allen went down 7 for 7 touchdowns.
Okay, and we're going to
field
talk
goals,
about
no
that.
punt.
Okay. So I want let's go over that real quick then, yeah? So
yeah.
So the Bills.
Watch Brett downgrade Josh Allen 7 for 7 night with 85% completion rate.
Wait.
5 touchdowns.
You have a good point. Kanav. You have a good point.
Brett's gonna go. Yeah, I mean Josh Allen just threw 84%, 400 yards passing, and then 5 touchdowns.
Let's also bring up one more thing first. Let's also bring up one more thing up here first, Kanav. Okay. The most games with 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns in NFL history.
Mahomes.
Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning all did it 3 times in their career. Mahomes just did it for the 4th time in his career. Only quarterback ever to do it. He did it in 72 career starts. Just to put that into perspective, Manning had 292 starts. Marino had 258. Montana had 187. Mahomes in 72 starts just became the first ever to have 4 games where he threw 400 pass yards and 5 touchdowns. Nobody else has ever done it. And he did it in 72 career starts. I don't see Josh Allen.
That's great and all.
I don't see Josh Allen doing that.
That's great and all, but
we're not done with the history facts. We're not done with the history facts yet. Because you know what? Patrick Mahomes isn't the only name tied to history in this game. It was also Travis Kelce, first player in NFL history to throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, and have 100 receiving yards in a single playoff game.
That's great, but I saw the Winter Soldier go against the best defensive-minded coach in NFL history and put up 7 touchdowns on him in 7 straight drives.
Okay.
What did your QB do?
Just
it up for the first quarter against the Steelers?
Argument, Kanav, let me go find something. It was actually posted by NFL Memes not too long ago. So, greatest defensive mind. One thing I've realized over the last few years is that it doesn't matter how good a coach is, you have to have good players to make that work. Let's put this into perspective. 2013 Washington Redskins had Matt LaFleur as their quarterbacks coach, Kyle Shanahan as their offensive coordinator, and Sean McVay as their tight ends coach. That team finished 3-13 that year.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's funny though.
All right, but Mahomes also
Yeah.
didn't
Okay.
score in the entire first quarter against the Steelers.
Okay.
Well,
Like,
okay. Here's what I was,
he made history.
So
But-
let me just bring up something else. Okay. And I watched Nick Wright. Okay, we were talking about him last week.
Oh, I have a hate. I have a love-hate towards Nick Wright. I mean, some takes I agree, some takes he's just retarded.
So
That's-
So he said that for the Chiefs, this was better than a bye week. And absolutely I agree with that. Because
I agree with it.
Because the Chiefs came out of this game with no injuries. That's why I agree with it. If the Chiefs would have had a marquee injury, right, maybe the bye would have been better. But no injuries on the team at all. This is better than a bye week.
And got warmed up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's my thoughts on the game, and so I don't know. That first quarter I think was sloppy. I was like, shoot,
absolutely.
could the Steelers actually pull off the upset? But like, yeah, you guys just had pure dominance over that, and I agree with that statement. Like with that take on the bye week. I mean, I know momentum is like kind of like a wishy-washy thing. Like, is it a real thing? But I think, with this huge win over the Steelers, they gotta, they're gonna ride the wave, of course. And so, I think next week, they're gonna have they got to be feeling great. I mean, a bye week, you're kind of just sitting, so it's like you're stagnant, whatnot. So
and just,
for sure, I agree.
Just to put into perspective how explosive the Chiefs' offense was in this game. Despite the fact that they were playing the Steelers, one of the worst teams to ever make the playoffs, which is true because it's a 7th seed. It hasn't been added until last year. But at the end of the day, they're still in the top 14 of teams in the league because they made the playoffs.
Right.
The Chiefs' first 5 possessions in this game were punt, interception, punt, fumble, recovery for touchdown. They totaled 72 yards on all those drives and averaged fewer than 4 yards per play. Right? After those first 5 drives, Mahomes finished 30 of 39 for 404 yards and 5 touchdowns. After those first 5 drives. And that's just, to me, mesmerizing. You screw up the first 5 drives of the game, and then you followed up with 30 of 39 and 404 yards, 5 touchdowns.
I wonder what happened. Like at the end of the first quarter, did they have some sort of discussion? Like it's just crazy they turn it around like that. It's
I don't want to hear it. This is what's going to happen.
Okay. Oh, no, Kanav, you're going to get
exactly
me copyrighted, bro. I have monetization on. You're going to get this shit copyrighted. Take it off. Damn.
That's going to be a good game next year. I know we'll talk about it.
That's how it's going to go.
We're definitely going to get into that. So that's about all I have for that, right? Honestly, Casey, to respond to your question, how did the Chiefs turn it around like that? What happened? I don't know. Honestly, it might have just been the team getting together and saying, hey, we need to stop being so damn cute with the football. It might have been that. Sometimes it feels that way watching this team. They try to get too cute, it doesn't work, and then they turn on the Jets when they need to. One more thing I'll bring up from this game before we actually move on is the fact that Jerick McKinnon dominated at the running back position in replacement for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I think he proved himself as better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I've been saying it.
He looks like a receiver. I swear to God, on the TV, he looks like a thin receiver.
Kinda, yeah.
A little small, thin guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember McKinnon on the 9.
He's
pretty
crazy,
good.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I brought up that I think Jerick McKinnon, Derek Gore, and Darrell Williams are all better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And McKinnon, he proved that in my eyes. Because his vision is so much better than Clyde's. I'm telling the entire game, whenever McKinnon would juke and find holes, my one comment every single play that happened, Clyde wouldn't have done that. Because it's true, he wouldn't have. I've been watching Clyde since his first game. He wouldn't have done that. But that's all I have about Chiefs Steelers. Chiefs dominate. They're on to the divisional once again, and it's fun. It's Mahomes really turned the franchise around. Cardinals and Rams is the last one we're going to talk. No, we still have to go over Bills Patriots too, but Cardinals Rams real quick. So I think it's no secret that the Cardinals went into the playoffs very cold. What they finished 3-5 going into the playoffs or something like that, or 5. They didn't have a very
5 and
good
6.
record.
Yeah.
5. Yeah, they didn't have a very good record going into the playoffs. Just a refresh for everybody's minds. The Cardinals were the NFL's last remaining undefeated team at 7-0 this year. And so here it is. They went 4-7. They went 4-7 down the remainder of the stretch. 4-7.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
And the rest is history. I mean, it was, as a lot are saying in comparison, is it was this year's Steelers from last year. We all know the Steelers went 13-0. I think fair. The Steelers went
11.
11. Okay.
To Washington.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's
Cardinals
the thing. I just think
Kyler
Kyler Murray. Yeah, I was going to say that too, and I think also I think Kyler's a great quarterback. I just think, similar to Jalen Hurts, his first playoff game. I just think it's going to take him some time, right? The playoffs are a whole different atmosphere.
Of course.
I mean, he beat the Rams earlier this. Yeah, I mean, he beat the Rams earlier this year, and so that's why part of me thought, okay, maybe the Cardinals could pull this off. But I feel like the Rams overall were just a lot more experienced in a lot of accounts. I mean, it all comes down to the coaching as well. Like you said, I don't know about Cliff. I feel like he has his moments, but I feel like Sean McVay's game plan is ingenious, and I think the defense in that game was incredible. I mean, a pick six at like the 1 yard line, that was crazy, and then another interception, forcing fumbles. The Rams were just on top of it, and I think that's why the Rams, in my opinion, are kind of like, I honestly kind of have them coming out of the NFC. I don't know. I feel like they can beat the Cardinals that good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say they're my pick right now for the NFC champs, but if they can beat the Cardinals that well, and the Cardinals, like you said, were very cold, I think they can really take anybody head on. I think they just got to have Matthew Stafford step up, when needed, because that's been their liability. Stafford kind of choking, and he's a great QB, but I feel like he also lacks some experience in some aspects as well. He hasn't been on really winning teams that much. He's only been in a couple playoff appearances. He never won a playoff game coming into this. So I'm happy for the Rams. I'm kind of rooting for them. And I think, I don't know. I feel like if you're another NFC team, you got to be afraid of the Rams. That was a great game. It was at 34-11. It was pure dominance.
And for those who like memes and jokes, just some of the memes write themselves. Murray with the shortest pick six in playoff history. So fitting. So
1 yard.
I when that play happened, I was like, dude, you got to take the safety there. I'm sorry, but that's just a reckless throw, and it was just the inexperience showing. But he certainly is a good quarterback, and he certainly will have good seasons in the future. But it's just not his.
For sure,
right
yeah.
Matt Stafford, speaking of him, he finished this game completing 13 of 17 for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns with a 154.5 pass rating. So pretty damn good game. Solid game from Stafford. Kupp, who is insane, Cooper Kupp, and Beckham Jr. Were his two main targets, and they combined for 115 yards receiving on 9 total catches. 9 total catches they combined for 115 yards. That's pretty dominant there. Murray, on the other hand, completed 19 of 34 for 137 yards and 2 picks. And as a team, Arizona rushed for 60 yards on 3.3 yards per carry. So they just could not get their rush game going at all in this football game. In the first half, the Cardinals had 40 yards of offense and 3 first downs. Just 40 yards of offense and 3 first downs in the first half. So they were just struggling from the beginning.
I think beat the Eagles, bro. Eagles had like -1 yards at the end of the first quarter.
Probably. I mean.
Something like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very bad.
I mean, I'm not saying the Eagles did better. They certainly were down that level.
Well, yeah. I mean, now that we're on the topic of like talking about these. Oh, sorry.
No, man, there's a lag.
I was just gonna say like. Yeah. I was just gonna say like now that we're on the topic of like we've gone through multiple games that have just been pure blowouts, and like I think part of that's probably due to the updated playoff bracket. Like, how do you guys feel like adding that 7th seed? I know it doesn't change too much, but it does eliminate an extra first round bye for the 2 seed, which we had before, and then we have an extra playoff team. Like, how do you guys think it's like I don't know, good for the league, or like, does it change
Well,
anything?
last year I thought it was good because it expanded the bracket.
Yeah.
It put 2 more games, right? So I thought it was
Yeah.
a good idea. But now seeing that out of the 4 7-seed wild card games between this year and last year, and not a single 7-seed has won yet. I mean, it just shows to me that it's kind of just, I don't know, man. I mean, I like it because it's like more football at the end of the day, right? But I don't look forward, unless it's my team playing, obviously. But honestly, did you guys look forward to Bucks Eagles last year? Did you guys look forward to Saints versus Mitchell Trubisky's Bears? I mean, come on. Nobody looks forward to these games, and these are playoff games. You should be looking forward to every playoff game, in my opinion. But
yeah,
I don't look forward to these 7-seed games unless it's my team playing. Cardinals became the 3rd team of the last 20 years, by the way, to go an entire playoff game without converting a 3rd down. They did not convert a single 3rd down in this game. They joined the 2018 Colts versus the Chiefs, and then the 2012 Bengals versus the Texans. So, just not good. Cardinals just did not play good. But moving on.
I think they were just. I think they were like the Patriots, bro. That's where our next conversation has to.
Speaking of Patriots, here we go. Not even close. The Bills just had a field day, a practice day against the Patriots, and
I honestly think Bills could have put up 60 points against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
They could have, especially late in the game when they just kept running off the ball, running down the clock. They could have definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like I said before, it's a young QB. I mean, I don't think the Patriots are a bad team. I just think like playoffs are a whole different atmosphere. It's like
they're
very evident.
They're a few pieces away.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think
like they have no number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
They have like an all right tight end.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is still a rookie. He's still developing.
Yeah.
Their defense was pretty terrible in that game as well, and they need some
really
more pieces on defense. I mean, allowing that many points and like, I don't know, Josh Allen ran all over them. He could do it all. I mean, in that game, he could run, he could throw. I just think, Patriots, maybe they'll make a deep playoff run in the future. But I don't think it's really one of those teams that I thought was going to make it far just because the inexperience and like you said, they have good players, they don't have great players. So
you think Josh Allen is a QB to beat in the AFC?
Oh, for sure, I think so. Him and Mahomes probably up there.
QB to be? Nah.
The QB.
we'll talk about it.
The QB to beat.
The Bills had 4
NFC.
4 possessions in the first half. They scored on all of them, obviously. 24-point lead at halftime.
Yes.
Josh Allen, 308 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Of course. Good. I mean, I'm not discrediting anything he did. He played
21 of 24.
Incredible. He played insane. They became the first team in the Super Bowl era to score a touchdown on each of their first 7 drives of a playoff game. So Allen himself Allen and the Bills himself and themselves just were written in the history books for this game. First team in the Super Bowl era to score a touchdown on each of their first 7 drives of a playoff game. That's insane.
Yeah, it's 49 points right there. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. Yeah.
So, just another crazy statistic that I found. Josh Allen had more touchdown passes in this game than incompletions.
He had 5 touchdown passes.
5 touchdown passes, 4 incompletions. So, I mean, he went...
Insane.
What do you go? He went...
21 of 24.
I don't know the stats, but, 4 incompletions, 5 touchdown passes. I mean, how often do you see that happen? Almost
21, 24, I think 383 yards, something like that.
Yeah. All right, well, that wraps up the recap of the wild card weekend. So, we are 40 minutes into this live stream. Can't believe we've been going for this long already. Doesn't feel like it, but we have. And I think it's time to go on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the upcoming games.
Saturday football,
baby. So, who's first?
Yes,
it's
sir.
Bengals Titans is first. So, what do y'all got?
Yeah. I guess I'll talk about it first. Like I said a couple times, I was not impressed with the Bengals against the Raiders. I mean, they're a good team. Joe Burrow's a great quarterback. But the Titans, number 1 seed, they're a very good team. Yeah, I got the Titans winning this one. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be an easy win where it's easy enough where they can kneel the ball at the end of the game. I don't know. I just think like Bengals they're all right against the Raiders. I don't know. I don't know if they choked. Definitely, they had a chance to win it. Everyone thought they were going to win pretty much, and they didn't. So yeah, I got the Titans winning this one. Let's say by 14 points, maybe like 44-30. No, lower than that, probably like 24-10.
Damn.
So I think I'm with Casey on this one. I think the Titans are going to win. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase even more. But after, I don't even like say anything against. I can't say anything against the Raiders because everyone has those bad games, you know. But when I look at Tennessee's front four, it's just as lethal as the Raiders' front four. And Joe Burrow was pressured a lot. But now you're adding better corners, better safeties to the mix. So now you're like thinking like, what's Mike Rabel and what's his defensive coordinator going to draw up to guard Jamar Chase, to guard T. Higgins, to guard Tyler Boyd? Right, so I think Titans defensively just have a better scheme. And plus you got to realize Titans are getting Derrick Henry back this week. They're getting A.J. Brown back. Yeah. They're getting Julio back. So they're getting everyone back. So I don't know. I think the Bengals had a good run. I think they're still a really young team to go this far into the playoffs. I think like with a couple more years, they could definitely be a serious contender. Right now, they're a little bit too young, and I think Titans are just they're coming. They're bringing everyone back.
So you got
just like
Tennessee,
the Packers. I got Tennessee. Yeah, I got Tennessee by 5.
I forgot to recap our overall predictions from last week. Casey, you went 4 out of 6. Kanav, you and I both went 6 for 6.
Yeah,
so we're riding hot, man. We're riding hot. But yeah.
Yeah, and the 2 I got wrong were very opinion based too. So
they were
Niners and Raiders.
Yeah. He had Dallas over Stanford.
Niners, Raiders,
Vegas over Cincy. So definitely opinion based there. But I have a feeling if you didn't let emotion get in the way of your picks, you probably would have joined us in the 6 for 6 club. But oh well. I'm just saying I wouldn't have bet against my team either. And I think Casey did freeze out. Can you see him, Kanav? Because he's like totally frozen.
Yeah, he's like smiling.
Yeah, totally frozen. Well, while we wait for him to get back, I'll go ahead and give my pick. I didn't pick a single upset last week. I'm picking an upset now because I have Cincy over.
You're riding with Joe Burrow?
I'm riding with Joe Burrow in this game. And this...
man.
I just made fun of Casey for making opinion-based picks. Or not opinion, but like emotion-based picks, right? I'm doing the same thing here, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want nothing more than to rematch the Bengals in the AFC Championship. I want nothing more than that because I really think we kick their ass. I really do. But got to get past
you should worry about your divisional game right now, man. Let alone the AFC Championship game. Worry about your divisional game first.
No, that's why I'm not skipping ahead, man. I'm just telling you the reason why I'm picking Cincy. In a perfect world, in my perfect matrix, right? I got Cincy over Tennessee. And I do think that they have a really fair shot of beating Tennessee. It's always so.
I think like when you look at it, I do think they have a really good shot at beating them. But when you put everything like together, then you're just like, oh, like do they really have a shot? Like,
well, they're still young.
I don't think they.
There's
everyone has a shot on any given Sunday.
Yeah, and especially in the playoffs, new season. It's Joe Burrow's first playoff run. He just won his first playoff game. Gave Cincy their first playoff win in 31 years before text messages were even invented. So somebody for the first time in NFL history, or just human history, sent a text about the Bengals winning a playoff game. So that's crazy to think about, but it did happen. But no, I mean, I think Cincy's coming off a shaky win against the Raiders. I think honestly they were built to beat the Raiders by more. I'm sorry, Casey, but I think that's how they were built. and they didn't do it.
I kind of
They
agree.
should have.
with
They
you.
should have. They just steamrolled the Raiders.
That's what I'm
They should
Yeah,
have.
I
saying.
mean,
We're riding them.
That's what I'm saying. When I saw it was coming close,
Yeah,
I
we
was
were
like,
very-
damn, Cincy, y'all not really even put up a fight here. But,
Yeah.
no, I think they get it together, and I think they play the Titans really well. I don't think it'll be, like one-sided in the slightest. I think it'll be a field goal, right? I think Bengals are going to win maybe by a game-winning field goal. Maybe they get maybe they're up by 3 and they get a defensive stop with no timeouts left, you know. But I have.
I think
Cincy
Titans
over
win by
Cincy.
6.
Yeah, could happen.
I think it'll
Yeah.
be a good game until late, and then Titans will pull away because I don't know. They're just gonna put it
Yeah,
into
I mean,
Derrick
we'll
Henry's
see.
hands.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it would be kind of cool, even though they beat the Raiders, if the Bengals won, because like you said, it's been like 30 plus years since they've had a legit playoff run. But I don't know. Like you said, I think it was definitely shaky against the Raiders because, like you said, the Raiders were heavy underdogs. Like no one really expected them to even really stand a chance, and then suddenly they're 9 yards away from tying it up. So I think the Bengals shot, like you said, any given Sunday it could happen. They definitely have a shot. But is it likely? Probably not. I think it could be close. I'm going 1 or 2 touchdowns, like I mentioned earlier. I don't see it. I don't see the Bengals winning. I just think the Titans are too good to lose in the first round, especially with King Henry coming back. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be an exciting game though. The Titans will have a comfortable enough lead though. Like I'll say it again, to kneel the ball at the end. It's not going to be like a frantic final second thing. I think they're going to kneel the ball, and it's going to be, like a 1 or 2 score game at that point. So yeah, we'll see though. It's going to be a good one.
Talking about heavy underdogs, Brett, you got all our picks in?
Yeah, I got all our picks in.
All right.
Speaking of underdogs.
All right, talk about heavy underdogs, bro. Niners 6.5 point underdog
6
under
and
the
a
Packers.
half against the Packers.
6.
So somebody,
I think the line might have dropped to 6. I think it might have dropped to 6.
so Kanav, I think your brain is probably more fresh on this topic. I don't really remember it because I was on a plane flight when the game went down. But let's talk about it. 2019 NFC Championship game. Niners beat the
God,
Packers
bro, I hated that.
in San Fran.
Raheem
What went
Mostert,
wrong?
bro,
What went wrong?
haunted. We let up 300 yards rushing.
Do you think
I-
it's possible for the
and
Packers?
like 5 touchdowns.
Do you think it's possible
I
for
was
the
in
Packers to
San
give
Fran
that
when
up
that
again?
game happened.
You said what?
Do you think it's possible that the Packers replicate that defensive performance?
No. I think they're a much better defense now. They got a whole new defensive coordinator. I think they brought in a bunch of pieces that we didn't have 2019. I think overall, I think we're just better at tackling than we were in 2019 because we sucked like penis at tackling. And so I think this year, like, we're a lot better at tackling. I think the only way we lose this game is if we don't play as physical as we did at the beginning. Because in the first few games we played super physical, but now it's it's everything's got to be perfect. Like it's pretty football. You watch Colin Coward, right?
I don't watch him regularly, but I see highlights on Twitter.
So he mentioned something, right? He's like, yeah, Packers used to play really physical ball at the beginning of the season. Now they're playing pretty ball, and I'm like, damn, this guy's right. So the only way we lose to the Niners is if we play pretty ball because Niners will punch you in the throat. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think our front end should hold up. Unlike 2 years ago, when our O line was just horrible compared to the 49ers D line. I think this time around it'll actually hold up. I think everyone's coming back. Bakhtiari is coming back. Billy Turner's coming back. So Josh Myers also coming back. So I think everything's going to hold up fine offensively. The 49ers corners aren't that impressive. I think they're just there. Safeties, not that bad. I think Rodgers, Adams figure out a way to do it. My biggest concern is just the defense. And putting that much pressure on Aaron Rodgers is such a bad thing. Because if you're letting the Niners score on every drive and now you're wanting Aaron Rodgers to replicate that every single drive to score. It gets a lot of pressure on him. It gets a lot of pressure on the offense where you just don't score points. Right? You see it with any team.
Yeah.
So I think if we stop Deebo Samuel, make Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball, I think we have a really good chance. But if Jimmy Garoppolo throws 10, 15, 20 times, Niners rush for 30, 40 times, it's a throw up at that point. It's just, is Aaron Rodgers good enough to overcome that?
And do you think, Kanav, that the Packers will come out and start playing rusty at all from the bye week?
No,
They're
not at all.
just going to come out
I
and give it
think
100?
A little. I think like the first like couple minutes, everyone's just gonna warm up. Like Bakhtiari hasn't been playing in what like a year. He just played for like what a quarter and against the Lions, and then went back onto injury because he had like he had a work management load
Yeah.
type of thing. Jair Alexander hasn't played since the Steelers in week 4, 5, something like that. Zadarius Smith hasn't played all season. So I think it's just a matter of like, oh, like it's been a while, like let's get back into the grind. But I think once you have like football in your DNA, you're never rusty. I think once you're on the field, you're just like back in there. And we got dogs on our team. Like Jair, as soon as he comes back, I feel like the defensive plan for Green Bay should be Jair follows Debo. And if Debo lines up in the backfield, Jair blitzes off the end. And then Preston or Zadarius Smith set the edge. So you force Debo to come back in because Debo likes to cut back a lot. So he'll go right, he'll take the handoff right, and then cut back to the left side of the field. So if Jair corner rushes from the side Debo's on, and Debo gets a handoff like this and goes right, then Preston Smith's there to set the edge, and if he tries to come back, then he's into a pile or he's back into Jair. So I think a lot of it's going to be Jair should be following, and I don't like the matchup of Eric Stokes on Debo Samuel or Kevin King on Debo Samuel. So I think Jair should follow, and I think Stokes should be on Ayuk at all times.
Kanav, I'm not going to ask you who your pick is in this game because I already know, and I think I know Casey's too because I know you have some harsh feelings towards San Fran. So I'll say it too. I'm picking Green Bay. I think it's pretty obvious. But the one thing about, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Casey, because I know you were wanting to talk, but I just want to say that the one thing about the 49ers,
no, all good.
The one thing about the 49ers that I've noticed out of all the playoff teams is that they play the hardest football. Like they're just punch your gut, giving you hell for 60 game minutes. Like they just play that tough 60-minute football style of play, and it's just they're a tough team, and they're kind of a bitch to get through. But I do think this is where their run comes to an end. I think the Packers are just overall way better of a team, statistically and skillfully. So, yeah, what were we saying, Casey?
Yeah, no, I agree with all the points made. I honestly think that, like, you know, the 2 years ago thing, I know it's being brought up, and it's like, you know, the Niners and Packers are different now from back then. The Niners don't have Mostert. Their defense isn't as good. They don't have DeForest Buckner, who I know was a big part of that Super Bowl run back in 2019. But, you know, the thing is, you know, the Packers are better than the Cowboys. That's pretty evident. I mean, and the Packers, you know, the Cowboys barely lost to the Niners. If I had to give some sort of ballpark score prediction, I'm going to go Packers by 16 or so. I'm going to go like 30 to 14 final score. Like you said, I think as long as they stop Debo, I think they're fine. I don't know.
Packers are putting up. Packers are going to win by 16 points against the Niners.
Yeah.
Happy if they won by more than 5 points against the Niners. Or like a field goal. Dog.
Yeah, I'm not going to say 16. I'm going to say it'll be a touchdown, maybe 7 or 8 at most. But yeah, I don't think it'll be a one-sided game. I don't know if this is me, but this is really the first time that I can remember where I'm looking at this slate of games for the weekend, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, all of these are amazing. Like every single one of these is going to come down to the end. You know, like
I think the other 3 games are a lot more better than the Bengals Titans. I don't think anyone cares about Bengals Titans enough.
I think
everyone has their eyes focused on.
The Bengals can really surprise some people.
I feel like all eyes are on. Like think about every game's like narrative. Like Aaron Rodgers facing the most pressure in the playoffs. Tom Brady trying to get revenge with no one on his team against Matthew Stafford, who beat him earlier in the season, who's also gotten his first career playoff win in over 17 years or 16 years, and the rivalry between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Like every game in this playoff thing has a narrative, except for Bengals Titans. Like, second-year quarterback versus
Derrick Henry's return.
Like, Derrick Henry's return.
There you go. So yeah, I mean,
can Burrow's Chase connection be stronger than Derrick Henry and his HB draw? That's the narrative.
Aaron says that Casey has some insane score predictions, and I have to agree with him. I have to agree with him. We gotta have that one oddball in the stream, though. So, Keep them coming, Casey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, Casey, I need
never
you to
know
pick,
what I'm gonna
I need
say.
you to pick the Niners, dog. You picked the Cowboys, they lost. I need you to go with the Niners.
Damn.
No, I can't do it. My
Bro, pick the
I'm never
Cowboys and
picking
the
the
Cowboys lost, bro. Casey, if I come in
man.
next week and the Packers lost,
I'm like Drake.
I'm gonna be so pissed.
All right.
I'm like Drake with the curse.
The Drake curse, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. We got probably potentially the most exciting playoff game of the bunch here now. Los Angeles and Tampa. I'm gonna glue my ass to the couch for every second of this game because this is gonna be.
I wish I
fantastic.
could, bro. I gotta go to my temple during this game.
Damn, bro. No, but this is gonna be
I know.
insane. We got some Bucks fans in the chat because of my Tampa following on this channel. Obviously, one of my friends, Chase, is man, he's very optimistic with his Bucks. I swear to God, but he thinks that he thinks the Bucks are gonna win, but he does say that the Rams will be tough. And man, this is gonna be a good game. And I'm excited for it. This is honestly the one game that I came into this stream not having like 100% thought out game-winning pick, because this is so, to me, it's the same thing as flipping a coin with this one. They're two really good teams.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man.
I
don't know about that one, man.
Well, let me just say this, right?
I think Rams roll, you know what I'm saying?
I think the Bucks have potentially the toughest path to the Super Bowl remaining in the whole bracket. Because they have to get past... I see Casey now put the Rams hat on. I know he's got some family connections to LA, and he's a big Jared Goff fan, even though he's not in LA anymore. But I think he's got that Jared Goff signature on it. But anyways, Listen, the Bucks have to get past LA. Somebody remind me, what was the score of that first game between them, and who won?
LA won by 15.
The Rams won. Yeah, it was the
Rams
won pretty well.
Was
and they beat them last year
15,
too, right?
Was the Rams in Tampa?
Yeah.
No, it was in SoFi.
They beat them last year in Tampa, but the Rams
won
won
last year in Tampa
in the Brady era. So
right,
yeah.
Shout out to my buddy Elliot, big Bucks fan. He says that LA is like the biggest bitch to the Bucks because they're always playing them tough. And Casey's sneakily putting on all that Rams stuff. Hey man, welcome back to the party. Let's go. No, but so yeah, I mean it'll be a good game. The Rams are very streaky though, but they played damn well against the Cardinals. But can they ride that win into next week? Can they ride that momentum coming off of that divisional game?
if you blow out Brady with think about it like this. Matt Stafford blew out Brady with no Odell, no Von Miller, no Cam Akers, and I think they were missing one piece on O-line, maybe. Now think about it like this. Rams got Von Miller. They got their O-line fixed. They got back Cam Akers. They got OBJ. And who did the Bucks get? They lost people. They lost AB. They lost Chris Godwin.
The Bucks are hurting right now with injuries.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Rams gained all their people back. Bucks lost all their people.
Yeah.
So
I
got
know who
the
the favorite is in this game, according to Vegas?
I think Bucks are favored. I think Bucks are favored by 2.
Really?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Think.
Damn.
Okay. Well, then in that case,
I think it's just because they're at home.
In that case, I got an upset. Well, I was going to choose the Rams regardless, but I got the Rams winning this just because I like the last 2 meetings. Obviously last year is different, but it's very obvious. You could argue. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that the Buccaneers last year are better than the Buccaneers this year. I think, at least. I mean, they had Antonio Brown. They don't have him anymore, and so the Rams beat them last year with Jared Goff. And I mean, not much has changed, and they beat them this year too. It's just I like the fact that they beat Brady twice in 2 years, and it's like they're playing them in the playoffs. And I got the Rams. I mean, you beat Arizona 34-11. I just think, that meeting is definitely a lot harder than the Eagles in the first round. If you look at their team
of
play,
course.
you also have the injuries to take into account. I don't know. I got the Rams, and I'm going to do a score prediction. I don't think this one's going to be as crazy. I think the score, my score prediction will be, let's see, 20-12 in favor of the Rams.
12 points by the No, bro. Brady,
Oh, no.
Don't question my logic.
He's going to get 24, bro. 24-27. I think it's going to be like
12. The
30,
Bucks scored
38,
12.
38-27. I think it'll be 38-27.
Don't question my logic. Don't question it.
Bucks are 2.5
Gonna
point favorites, by the way.
It's not much. We'll see.
Casey's
So a little
got
under a
some
field goal.
witchcraft logic that we don't know about. But then
Yeah.
again, he did go 4 for 6 last week, so I don't really know how effective his witchcraft is.
Dude, Packers are minus 5.5
So-
and Titans are minus 3.5.
Kanav, who are you taking in LA TV?
Rams.
Taking the Rams. All right, I'll be the odd man out because I'm taking
38-27, bro.
38-27.
38-27.
Damn, by 11. So I have the Bucks in this game, and I just like the Bucks. I think I watched them play against
Wait,
Philly.
did you pick the Packers? Or
Yeah,
the
I
Niners?
picked the Packers. Yeah, no, I picked the Packers.
Pick the Niners so you go 0-4 all weekend.
What was that?
Can you pick the Niners so you go 0-4 all weekend?
Can I
You took the Bengals.
Packers.
You're taking
I
the Bucks
know.
and you're about to take the Chiefs.
Nah. All right. We're not even ahead yet, but I trust my picks, man. I trust my picks. I have Tampa because I watched them play against the Eagles, and yes, of course, it's the Eagles, right? Not a good team.
It's
not
the
a good
Eagles.
playoff team. But they just looked dominant, straight up. The defense looked good, and I think that they riding off of last year's Super Bowl win, and yeah, they're hurting. No Antonio Brown, he's a Ghana, and no Chris Godwin, he's a Ghana, and it's tough right now for the Bucks. And I think they lost Tristan Wirfs too, so it's
Yeah.
they're hurting.
I think he'll
with
play.
injuries.
I think he'll play, but I think he's going to re-aggravate that injury real quick in
Yeah.
that game and be out. And when that happens, you better believe Leonard Floyd's
So-
coming in.
I got Tampa, so I'm kind of the odd man out in this episode.
I feel like
But
if Tristan Wirfs plays, Tampa wins. I feel like if Tristan Wirfs
Really?
doesn't play, Rams win. Yeah, I think it's all dependent on Wirfs. Because then, who do you have to stop Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Von Miller?
true.
Backups?
That's a good point.
So, like,
I mean, I guess on paper I should pick the Rams because it's just a better look statistically, but
yeah.
I just like Tampa's experience, and I know the Rams have experience too, but you have Brady on the team, man. That's all you need to tell me. So let's get this one out of the way. I'm picking the Chiefs against
Game
the
of the
Bills.
week,
I'm picking the
Josh
Chiefs
Allen.
against the Bills.
Josh
And I'll tell
Allen.
you exactly why I'm picking the Chiefs against the Bills. I might be going to Arrowhead, by the way, and I hope I do because I really do think the Chiefs will win this game.
Josh Allen.
Before I do, I want Kanav to let all his shit out. Tell me, Kanav, tell me why Allen is going to beat Mahomes, and tell me why the Bills are better than the Chiefs. Just so I can disagree
Josh
with you promptly.
Allen is a menace, bro. You see his new nickname? You see his new nickname in the NFL game? They calling him the Winter Soldier. You know, like Bucky Barnes from Captain America. They call him the Winter Soldier. You know why? Cause he's nasty. Bro, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Big body, 247 pounds, quarterback. Running all over the Chiefs last time, running all over the Chiefs this time. When you put up 7 straight touchdowns against Bill Belichick, it's hard to bet against you. I like I said, right before the playoffs started, I picked the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. And you had my respect then.
Mhm.
Or I had your respect then. Wait, one of those ways when I picked the Chiefs
You'll
to beat the
figure it
Bills
out.
in the divisional round.
Yeah.
But like after what the Bills did to the Patriots, it's really hard to see a scenario where the Bills aren't prepared. And it's Stephon Diggs' revenge tour, and you already know that's not going to go great.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
if Tre'Davious or whatever his name is, Ward, is getting cooked by Jamar Chase, I'm just dying to see what Stephon Diggs does to Daniel Sorensen and Ward and
I swear to God,
Thornhill
Daniel
and all of
Sorensen
them.
gets more than 5 snaps, and he's so pissed off. I don't know if y'all saw, but our linebacker Willie Gay, who's been exceptionally solid this season, got arrested for breaking a $250 vacuum. And he spent the night in jail. So we're not gonna have Willie Gay, and if we do have Willie Gay, and that hurts, and that really does hurt because that's now we're gonna have to put in a backup line, and he'll be ready to play, he'll be fine. But the problem is you have Andy Reid,
and I don't want to hear excuses
very seriously, and
I don't want to hear excuses, man. Tre'Davious White's not playing either.
I was gonna bring that up. Tre'Davious White is not playing.
Arguably a top 5 corner, bro.
Yeah, and that's gonna help the Chiefs because Tre'Davious White did play in Week 5, and let's talk about Week 5. The Bills beat the Chiefs handily, but do you guys think that this is the same Chiefs team that we saw in Week 5?
No,
not
at all.
Absolutely,
oh, definitely not.
This is a completely different Chiefs team. The Chiefs back then, brand new O-line still, a couple of new pieces on the defense. I mean, you had guys still figuring it out. You had the Chiefs figuring it out. They have since then turned it around, and they have become what everybody has known them to be in the Patrick Mahomes era once again. I mean, simply put, that was just a game that will not replicate itself. That is, it's the Bills will not blow us out again. But we're not going to blow them out either. This is going to be a game that comes down to...
I think the Bills will blow you out.
You're funny, Kanav. So, in that Week 5
matchup... I think Bills win by 9.
In that Week 5 matchup, the Chiefs had 4 turnovers. The Bills had 0. That's a big deal. If we play a clean game, no turnovers on each side of the ball, I think the Chiefs win. I really do think the Chiefs win. But if we're looking at it, the Chiefs could lose if the turnover differential is even 1. Like, they have to play a clean football game against this Bills team. They have to play good, clean football, and they have to not turn over the ball. And I'll tell you exactly how you do that. Don't put McCole Hardman on punt return. It's simple as that. Don't put McCole Hardman on punt return, and you have no turnovers. It's so simple. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
Yeah.
Why they just do it, but they do, and it's so aggravating. But
hey, Hardman played pretty good against the Steelers, bro.
He played.
He did have that one. Yeah.
He played one of his better games. I'll give him that. But as a Chiefs fan, you don't trust him after one good game. After all he's done this year and the year before and the year before that, ever since his rookie year, he's been trash. So I'm just saying, if he's in the backfield returning punts, returning kicks, I'm going to be having an absolute heart attack. Just as I did against the Steelers. So, again...
Here's what I think.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, here's what I think. I honestly think I could go either way on this. Am I going to let my emotions as a Raiders rivalry to the Chiefs
yes, you are.
choose the Bills? I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Here's the thing.
Yes,
I'll be straight up. My pick is not because of emotion. I think they're going to win. But you do make a valid point, and you guys beat them in the AFC Championship last year. Yeah. So that would definitely give you hope.
If I'm convincing you this easy, don't make your pick yet because I still have some more stuff to talk about. Let me just say, last year, Casey, you did choose Buffalo over KC in the AFC Championship game, so just something to think about because you already got it wrong once. Why not? I know you don't want to get it wrong twice. But
I want to get it wrong twice. Come on, bro. Anyways, give me all of Buffalo.
Give me Buffalo 24-15. Give me Buffalo 24-15.
What is with you, bro?
Wow, 15! You think Mahomes gonna score 15? You're insane, dude.
It's the same as his jersey number, bro.
He said Jimmy G's gonna score 16 or 14.
Wow.
He said Tom Brady's gonna score 12. He said Patrick Mahomes gonna score.
Damn, I'm sorry, Casey, but that's bro. All right, let me.
Don't question it.
All right. Okay. Hear me out, right? Let's talk about how the Bills finished their season, okay?
Hey, that doesn't matter, bro. Come on.
With the exception of Tom Brady in Week 12, the Bills since Week 12 have faced Mac Jones 3 times, and then they played Cam Newton and P.J. Walker against Carolina, Matt Ryan against the Falcons, and rookie quarterback Zach Wilson against the Jets going into the playoffs. So, you could talk, the Bills so hot going into the playoffs. Look at who they've played. I'm sorry, but any defense would stop who they play, with the exception of, I mean, I know they beat Mac Jones, or they got beaten by Mac Jones. They didn't get beat by Mac Jones. They got beaten by the run game, that one snow game that they played. But, you know, when you play the same guy 3 times, it's pretty likely he'll win one of them, especially if he's in your division, right? So, it's an easy finish, is what I'm saying. And another thing...
But you guys, like, your entire, like, stretch, like, you guys, like, you only had, like, 2 good wins. 3 good wins against, like, trash teams. You almost lost to the Broncos. You did lose to the Bengals.
Yeah, which we shouldn't have.
Steelers are ass. Okay. You barely beat the Chargers.
The
Raiders
barely,
were cheats in your division.
We barely beat the Chargers with 14 players on the COVID list. So, yeah, that's a pretty big win in my opinion.
You were Travis Kelce and Tyreek. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it kind of does when you're screwed on the O-line and the defense. Mahomes getting rushed all game, still found a way to pull it off in overtime. Now, that's... I thought we were going to lose.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Honestly, going into that, I thought we were going to lose. But yeah, I'm just saying the Bills had an easy finish, and let me bring up...
I think Josh Allen is good right now.
What?
Oh, nothing. Sorry, I think it lagged.
I didn't hear what you said. So the Chiefs played the Chiefs this year had 7 games that were decided by a touchdown or less. The Bills had 5 of those games. The Chiefs went 5-3 in games decided by a touchdown or less. The Bills went 0-5 in games decided by a touchdown or less. So that's pretty significant in my opinion because I think this game is going to be decided by a touchdown or less. I really do. And Josh,
all right, whose offense? Whose offense would you take? The Steelers' offense or the Patriots' offense?
And what kind of scenario are we talking about here?
In like a normal game, would you rather have a Patriots offense or a Steelers offense?
Patriots.
They're equally ass, but yeah, probably Patriots.
Yeah.
All right, so the Chiefs let the Steelers score 21. How much did the Bills let the Patriots score? 10. 17 if you want to count late empty calories. But we'll go with 10 because that's how much it actually was.
You're making me go on the
10.
History Channel right now.
Now, whose defense would you rather take? The Patriots defense or the Steelers defense? Now that's a throw up because they're both almost equally as good.
Listen, man.
Chiefs put up 42 after having a struggling first quarter.
So
Bills could have put up 60.
Hold on. What was your talking point like 3 points ago? You're talking about like the Bills
offense
allowing I don't know. Look, Bills allowed 21 to the Patriots in the first matchup. Patriots beat them in the second matchup in Buffalo. Come on now. So I mean, you're using the Patriots.
That goes through 3 times
as an example, but it's a division rival at the end of the day. So I don't really know what your point is. The Bills road games this year when it was determined by a field goal or less. Let's just talk about those for a second. Week 6 at Tennessee, they lost. Week 9 at Jacksonville, they lost. Week 14 at Tampa, they lost. So that they're on the road again. I think it's going to be determined by a field goal or not, a touchdown or less. The last time they won a road game that was decided by a touchdown or less was week 7 of last year against the then winless New York Jets. So I'm just saying they don't have a good history with winning close road games. They don't have a good history with it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
I feel like this matchup is a lot
I just think
similar. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I don't know. I agree. Like, you bring up good points. I just think Josh Allen's too good right now. I don't know. I think Mahomes is good too, but, like, Josh Allen, that game against the Patriots. So, I mean, I know there's debate about, like, who's better and whatever, like, right now. But, I don't know. I just got Allen. I got him winning it. And,
yeah,
I don't know. I maybe 15 points is not a fair assessment, but I think – I don't know.
Maybe
I just something in my brain is telling me.
No shit.
Something in my brain. It's something in my brain telling me. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. But I got Buffalo winning by 9 points, 24-15, and I'm standing by that. And I think.
Look, Brett, I think this is a lot similar to last year's Packers-Bucks. Think about it. The Packers were a lot better at the end of the season than they were at the beginning.
Sure. Yeah.
And the Bucks were a lot better at the end of the season than they were at the beginning. The Bucks were horrible at the beginning of the season, just like the Bills. And the Packers were like horrible at the beginning of the season too, just like the Packers. I mean, just like the Chiefs.
Of all the teams
when you
that
look
had
at
a shitty
it,
start, it was the Chiefs had the worst of starts. And
okay, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Well, I think the Patriots had a worse start, but yeah, I mean, of all the teams remaining, yeah, the Chiefs had the worst start.
The
But
Chiefs
when
had
you
higher
look at it,
expectations than the Patriots, though.
the Bills
Chiefs had
already
higher
have their number in Arrowhead this year.
I
think it'll be a good game. I think it's going to be a really
it'll be a
fun
really
game
good
to
game
watch.
for sure.
But I think the Bills will win. I think it could either be a 9-point game or it could be a 2-point game. I don't see
and I think
anything
it's
like
gonna
where
be,
it's
I think it's going to be a
ever seen.
touchdown or less, honestly. Once again, Bills haven't won a game by a touchdown or less since the Jets Week 7, 2020. But I will say, though, it's going to be a really close game. I don't see it being one-sided at all. It won't be like the first matchup in Week 5. I think most people can agree with that. Bills, again, without their best cornerback, Tre'Davious White, who did play against the Chiefs in Week 5. And let me go ahead and I'm just going to say it straight up because I know I talk a lot of shit as a Chiefs fan. This is straight up the most terrified I've been about a playoff game in a couple of years. Probably since the 2018 AFC Championship against the Patriots. That's probably the last time I felt like we could lose this game. Like every game last year's playoffs, I felt that we were gonna win. Even the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs, before y'all make fun of me, the Chiefs were favorites in that Super Bowl. I know it was only 2.5 points, but at the end of the day they were favorites. So, I really did feel every playoff game the Chiefs played last year, I felt that we were gonna win. And every playoff game the year before that, the Super Bowl winning team, I felt every week of the playoffs that we could win. This is the first game, literally, since that AFC Championship against the Patriots where I feel like we can lose. And I don't
You're about to feel
fair.
a whole lot of win a soldier on you this Sunday, bro.
Dude,
And
don't even
you
start.
at that point
Last
might as
week,
well.
you're on the
When you get to like 3 minutes
Joker.
left in the fourth, when you get to like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I suggest you just leave Thunder Kingdom because that shit's about to be blowing up on you and Tyler. You're about to get daddy.
I think
daddy
you guys are in for a rude awakening because I really do think the Chiefs are going to win this game. But again, I think that there's a great possibility we lose. But I do have the Chiefs winning. I have them winning by probably 5, maybe less. But
I had the Bills, bro.
That's all I have.
That's fair. I can go either
unless
way.
Josh Allen just have an off day, like a horrible day, I don't see.
Last time
if they have similar comparisons or whatever, if Josh Allen plays a pretty good for his standard game, Bills win handedly. But if Josh Allen has an off day, that's when you're like shit.
Now we can talk all we want about how incredible and historically amazing the Bills played last week, but they can't replicate that performance, and they won't replicate that performance.
Yeah,
you're playing.
They could, man.
Yeah,
they could.
No, but they're not. The thing is, they're not. They can't.
Yeah, but they could.
It's not. They're just not going to happen.
They could.
They're not going to score.
Okay, yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
It's
not going to happen.
They're not going to score a touchdown 7 straight drives, especially against the Chiefs defense. It's just not going to happen.
If they do, bro, Brett's turning off his TV, bro.
If they do,
speaking of the Chiefs,
you won't hear from me for a year. I'm gonna go rent out a cabin in fucking Blue Ridge, Georgia, and just camp out there for a year and not think about football. But, yeah.
I mean, I think it really comes down to what Chiefs defense are we going to see. I mean, if they could, like you said, I could go either way. I'm not my heart isn't set on Buffalo, but I'm going to pick Buffalo.
Either way,
I think
Those got the Chiefs scored 15 points, bro.
He's like, I can see it go either way. Either the Chiefs score 15 and the Bills score 24, or the Chiefs score 15 and the Bills score 5.
I gotta trust my gut, bro. I gotta trust my gut. My gut's telling me that's what's gonna happen. But I will say this: I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs won, just because. I mean, it's definitely gonna be a test for both teams. I mean, last year, Chiefs won. The Chiefs have turned their season around. I mean, by all means, you brought up the Patriots having a slow start. I think the Chiefs had a slower start. because the Chiefs had higher expectations than the Patriots. Patriots had a lot lower expectations. So I think the Chiefs have made such a big turnaround. I don't know if they're going to give it up that easy, you know. But that being said, though, I think Buffalo's the same way, and Buffalo's hungry a title. You know, Josh Allen, he wants to win a title, and the Chiefs have been in this position before. But I got Buffalo winning it. I don't know. I could see it going either way, but I got Buffalo, and I'm going to stick to that. And I know I was wrong with the Buffalo prediction last year, but I think the Chiefs were better last year than they are this year.
You'll be right this year. Don't worry, bro.
If the Bills beat the Chiefs, Kanav, you can meet me at Bull Market at USF the next morning. And listen, I'm a man of that believes in second chances, Casey. So I'm going to give you an opportunity here to not make a fool of yourself and change your score prediction for the Chiefs, because we both know that they're not scoring 15 points. So I want a gentleman offer here. I'm giving you a second chance to change your score prediction.
Well, here's the thing. I tend to pick. I'll do it. But I'll say this first. I tend to make my picks based off of emotion. Okay, and I think my heart wants the Chiefs to score 15 points because I think that'd be funny. But if we're going off of logic, then I'll give my final score prediction. I think it's going to be 33-28.
And that's a lot more realistic than 24-15 or whatever you just said.
I was just testing you guys.
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
You passed the test.
Yeah.
Would it have been a test, though, if I didn't just give you a second chance to change it up? The world may never know. The world may never know.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
I'm about out of everything I wanted to talk about. I don't know how y'all feel. I don't know if y'all want to keep the show running, but I feel solid with how I feel. I feel solid with my picks. I feel solid about my analyzations. I feel good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited because Packers playing at 8:30 at night in like negative degree weather, and Jimmy Garoppolo got a sprained shoulder and like a broken thumb. So it's like whenever you play with an injury in the cold, so bad.
Yeah.
You know. I saw a very interesting stat. Jimmy Garoppolo in his career has never thrown a pass in less than 40 degrees.
Dude, what kind of fucking
even when
stat is that? Jimmy,
I have no idea. But Jimmy Garoppolo has never.
Hey, did you know that Patrick Mahomes has never thrown an interception in -3 degree Fahrenheit weather while he had an injured left ring finger? Just some food for thought. He's never done that.
Signed
That's kind of hard to believe, Kanav, though, because he played in New England. He played a season in New England, right? Like that's weird.
Yeah, but he played at the beginning when Brady was suspended.
Yeah, but like it's cold in New England, you know.
Not
like
you
would think.
Season, though,
yeah, I get. Yeah, you're right. But
y'all saw the Chiefs picked up Damon Arnett.
I did see that.
Oh yeah, I know. I know too well about that guy. He's done some questionable stuff. Just leave it at that. And he's not the best. He was out the entire season this year, and he just decided to come back. Good luck with that guy. I don't think he's going to contribute much, but yeah.
Let me just say this for the Bucs fans, because I know I got some watching. You guys probably have the toughest path to the Super Bowl, because you have to beat the Rams, and then, assuming the Packers win, you're going to have to go to Lambeau for the second straight year and pull off another upset. I don't think that's going to happen a second time.
Gonna be -15 degrees, bro.
And then if you manage to get past the Rams and then the Packers, then you got to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. So I'm just saying it's not a tough path to a second back-to-back Lombardi.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is actually wild, bro. And under 40 degrees. It's just about to be -15.
You know what? Just for the fun of it, they should have made it like 39 degrees. He's never thrown a pass in under 39 degrees, just to be oddly specific.
Yeah. Who knows? We might see Trey Lance.
They're literally gonna keep the ball out of Jimmy G's hands because, first of all, he's playing with a broken finger. He's playing with a sprained shoulder, and it's gonna be 50 degrees colder than he's never played in before in his life. So he's going to freeze his ass off. Everything's going to freeze. So they're literally just gonna put it in Debo's hands. And when Debo can't run, then it's gonna get a good game because then Jimmy G has to throw and shit.
Yeah, there's no way. There's
Jimmy
no way
G almost let the Cowboys come back, bro. The Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy. I don't know. I respect him for playing through an injury, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Trey Lance. I wouldn't be surprised if he came in like mid game.
Dude, tell me how. This reminds me of a lot of like the Rams divisional game last year. Think about it. Aaron Donald wasn't fully healthy. Nick Bosa's dealing with the concussion, and Fred Warner's dealing with an ankle. Rams had a pretty good run game last year with Cam Akers.
Yeah, they did.
Packers stopped it. Their quarterback was like broken. Jared Goff was like had a middle finger injury. Jimmy Garoppolo is having a hand injury. Like very, very similar.
Yeah.
Only problem was Rams had a better defense last year, just because Brandon Staley. This year they got Raheem Morris. Rams got Raheem Morris, and the 49ers have some like Dimitri something. I don't know. I forgot the guy's name, but I don't know. It reminds me of a lot like last year's divisional round. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I really hope we don't get run off the field by Deebo Samuel. If we hold Deebo to at least 70 yards, I'll be happy. Like 70 total yards.
Boys,
Like
it's midnight Eastern time, so I think I'm going to call it here. But to everybody who joined in and was a part of this stream, thank you for coming along. Thank you for listening to our sports talk. You could have gone to anybody, but you chose us, so thank you. And be sure to come back next week when we talk about the results of all 4 of these upcoming games and then the predictions for the conference championships. Crazy to think that next week is the conference championships already.
Yeah.
It's going by so quick, but we got the divisional playoffs this weekend, and we will see you there. All I'm going to say is, go Chiefs, baby, go Chiefs, and
Brett's gonna need that. Brett's gonna need you guys in the comments, man. Brett's gonna need all y'all support in the comments section.
Speaking of the Chiefs,
I'm gonna need it.
One final thought: if the Chiefs only score 15 points, someone's got to buy me like Super Bowl box tickets or something.
Oh my god! Damn.
Yo, hey, Brett's dad will fly you to LA. You pay for the tickets. Brett's dad got you though.
There you go. All right, I'll see y'all. Thanks for coming along. Peace out.